Hello everyone, and welcome! Today we're gonna try to do an Age 20 run with Vandius with all Distortions on. One important thing is that I needed to reroll Distortions until I didn't have negative gold at the beginning of the... or less gold at the beginning of the run. It's a better way to say that. And then I also wanted a map with Chamber of Elixir. This is gonna make things so much easier, because we're gonna be reliant on potions a lot throughout the run. For essences, we're going Nature and Charisma. Nature has a passive that we really need, and then Charisma has Last Stand, which is really good. We're running Last Stand, Life Bloom, and then Wild Root Snare. I hope they fix Word of Command soon, because I really want to use this. I think it would work well with Vandius in specific, since he can also shield and support the things you would steal from it. And then for evolutions, Transcendental Death is one of the best and most reliable ways to get amplifiers in high distortions, because the Altars of Power cost twice as much to use. And then we're running Crimson Rage for the Bleed debuff and Alchemist Training to get our potions on really low cooldowns by the end of the run. Alright, so most important thing that we need to do right away is reroll the Edicts until we see this right here. Domains, portals, and tower restoration cost is reduced by 50%. It sucks to have to use so many... we're gonna get the bonus damage mitigation here, by the way. It sucks to have to use so many rerolls on it, and then we're gonna get the HP regen. It sucks to use so many rerolls, but it's kind of necessary to get the economy set up. We're gonna buy the Chronomancer's Council, which generates gold over time if you have mage towers. The downside to this is that mage towers are kind of really horrible against the night waves. So you're getting income, but you're making it much harder to defend. So we're not going to go full mage towers. We don't have a way to deal enough AoE damage to use that. We're looking for HP, Rage Amp, and Tactical Amp from these, by the way. And then attack speed as well. And then I want to get the Warlord Potion and the Yellow Potion. The Warlord is going to be for attack speed. The Warlord is for attack damage, crit, and lifesteal. And then the yellow one is going to be mostly for attack speed. And then while I'm here, I'm going to grab the wave here and try to keep it next to the towers without taking too much damage. I want the EXP from this wave, and then I don't want this tower here to lose aggro. The way that mage towers work is that they constantly ramp up in damage over time. I think it scales infinitely, but I haven't really sat there and looked at it long enough to know for sure. And then here, I guess we'll take the auto attack damage. Any bonuses to like attack speed or auto attack damage help get the early game done with. And then perfect, we're already finding some attack speed here. So what I'm gonna do right here is it's gonna be a little bit annoying first, because he wastes so much time doing that attack. I'm going to lure this camp over here, where the mage tower can attack him. Always pay attention to this when you're learning your map seeds. See if there's anywhere that your towers can attack for you, especially as you start getting into the higher ages. You need any advantage you can get to deal with the scaling. So that's actually a good segue. If you watched my last video, I talked about how I think the burning and thunder debuffs being percent max health makes things pretty cheesy, and they're overpowered if you go out of your way to abuse them. Because even if the boss fight, or even if the boss is scaled to infinite difficulty, you always kill it in the same amount of time. I still think it's really overpowered for the lower to mid ages, But when you start getting into high ages, it's almost like a necessary evil to be able to kill bosses in any considerable amount of time. You have to start doing something a little cheesy, whether it being using damage over time effects, or there's a really broken potion build you can run with a similar setup to what I have right now, with the potion cooldown, evolution, but then you would also run alchemy for mystic transmutation, and you would run an augment that makes mystic transmutation scale off of your fate amplifiers. You can make your potion effects insanely strong that way. Wow, we are getting really good rolls on attack speed. We're at 95 already. Now the only thing is I need to have some lifesteal, and then we'll be set. These are both pretty bad. We will be stacking some tactical amp, so I guess we'll take it. And then for the rest of the day, we're just looking for these really weak enemy camps. These enemies, by the way, I feel like are the easiest, so if you have them on your map seed, I would start with them. I feel like they're much more forgiving on their timing to dodge stuff, and they have a lot of wind up in their attacks and like in lag on some of the other ones. I feel like they're just really easy to deal with. The really low tier plants are also really easy to kill without taking damage. All the plants in general are, but the problem becomes with the bigger plants that they just take a long time to kill if you can't kill them fast enough, and they keep splitting. Now I should have done this earlier, but I need to put one level in here, and then grab one level in each catapult. I don't actually need the level in the backline catapult, but it is a little bit of a safety feature in case something goes randomly wrong. The tactical amp is really good late game, but I think I gotta go for the crit chance to help get through the early game faster, to even get to the late game efficiently. And then we'll grab the wisdom tree here, and just do a little bit more scouting around before we go back to the lane. I guess I'll take a little bit of auto attack range. I don't know if it's really gonna make a difference, but the more auto attack range you get, the more you'll be able to attack the Night Wave at the same time. So I don't know if that little 25 boost helped, but I also wanted the Rage Amp from it. Perfect. Another lifesteal. Even just a couple percentage of lifesteal will start scaling really well, as the potion also gets our crit damage and our attack speed and other stuff up. And then we can use Tactical Amplifier on these if we don't have another option. The invisibility could be pretty good too, but I'm not too worried about investing into it instead of other things. Then I want to pop both of my potions here and just try and take out as much of the wave as I can. This, I would say make sure you avoid. You don't really want to push enemies out of the range of this. It could be a little bit helpful during the night waves, but overall I would rather not have it. I feel like it's more of a detriment. I think like I said, you could find some creative uses for it, especially if you're really stacking red amp high. You could kind of just shove everything out of the lane. And then now that we got level 3, we unlocked Last Stand. It gives 50% damage reduction, and one of the really important things about this is that it remains as long as you stay inside of it. And then on top of that, 1 second, this is actually really good for the night waves, but I think just being able to keep guard up will have a lot of value too. But the other thing that is very important about this is that it can affect your troops. If you're running like Call to Arms, the evolution that summons units for you, this is a good combo with that. And then, most importantly, it affects the gate here. So these things can tank really well. So with the combination of just how tanky we're making the gate, and then our catapult towers for AoE, we can deal with the night waves without really having that much AoE ourselves. If we get good enough rolls on our potions, and like we have gotten pretty decent rolls so far, I think I'm gonna take the... This is uncommon, but I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take the attack speed over it, because this also comes with a tactical amplifier. And then, at a certain point, our attack damage does matter always, but at a certain point, attack speed becomes almost more valuable just to make sure the bleed effect gets applied. So what the bleed effect does is it deals 2% of an enemy's missing health per second. It gets really powerful the more you start taking enemies down. And even though it's theoretically more powerful than like Burn and Thunder, which do 1% max health, I think I'm just gonna take the crit chance here, even though this is uncommon. But anyways, Bleed is theoretically more powerful if you can efficiently lower a enemy's HP in the first place, which is kind of what I like about it too, is that it's not like I can just walk up to a boss, apply a dot to it, and walk away every certain amount of seconds and kill the boss automatically. With Bleed, my build and stuff has to actually be somewhat decent too. Hey, this is a hard decision too. I think I'm gonna take the crit chance. And then this is gonna hurt, but I am gonna pick up the Altar of Power here and see just how much damage that does. If you're running something like Transcendental Death and you don't care about Altars of Power as much, a good option is just turning them into HP, especially if they're rolled on something you don't want for amplifiers on top of that. So now I should grab the Alchemist Guild and the Legendary Plants. I guess I can... These are really cheap, so I'm gonna buy them out before... This is the weird thing about this game. I have 50 gold, but it's not enough to buy things. That happens everywhere. But yeah, anyways, these are cheap enough where I can buy them out before the night goes by without really slowing down the build too much. Cooldown reduction is going to be nice for the heal on Life Bloom and the Last Stand, and then it has tactical on top of that. Is the dungeon here? I know it's around here somewhere. Here it is. So we're gonna do this for just a little bit of extra money. It's not something that's going to be, like, vital to the build. If you don't roll a map with a dungeon, don't worry about it. You can get money elsewhere. It just helps with having a little bit more to do right now. This will give some extra attack damage. I wish that it was more apparent what counts as being in the kingdom and what counts as wildlands. Oh, I said these enemies were easy, and then I got stunned by multiple of them. That's alright, though. Actually, I need to intentionally walk in and take some damage here. And then, let's see, what's our edict for today? Perfect, auto attack for towers. Either that or extra HP. Extra HP for the walls would have been nice as well. Now let's see, we can grab some extra regen from over here real quick before we leave. And then what do we need to be doing next? I'll get the portal up here and I'll check these two, I guess. And then I think there's a couple other weak camps somewhere in this area. I don't remember exactly which ones are weak and which ones aren't. But actually, let's get this quest out of the way right away. I don't think I'm going to invest much in this mine, because it slows down getting other upgrades I want, but I might as well unlock it for a little bit of extra amplifiers. We really, really need to get our potions to as close to full uptime as possible before we're doing the boss fights. And the more uptime we can have on our potions, the better. Oh yeah, so here I should start taking damage again. So nature gives you a passive where every certain amount of time you can revive, and then one of the options for the passive is also that you gain 5 in every amplifier. I think this is another thing where I was talking about, like with the percent health damage over time effects. You can do a lot of things to go out of your way to abuse this, and then I think it's also pretty overpowered for lower-end runs, but it's one of those things that, with how much the Altar of Powers start costing, and how much the enemies scale, it's kind of one of the necessary evils. Not to say that you can't do runs without this stuff, it's just, it makes things so much more efficient to run them. I'd really prefer attack speed or lifesteal. Let's roll it again. Oh, this is kind of worst case scenario. I don't think that this applies to damage over time effects, but I'm not positive on that, so someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. 20 Rage Amp will at least give us a good chance to apply bleed. So it's not the worst thing that could happen. I guess the worst case would probably be speed and invisibility. The invisibility would be useful, but not as useful as other stuff. Okay, nice. We'll get 2 tactical lamps there, and auto attack damage. And then I think there's a couple more camps I can take here, and then I'm gonna look to die again, just to get a little bit more amps going up. And the sooner I die, the better. I'll explain that in a minute. I also want to grab Temporal Wardens, where enemy unit speed on the main lane is reduced. That'll help us take out the waves, especially the night ones. I should probably also... Oh, I never grabbed the 3rd level in Gold Mine. A little unfortunate, but it's okay. At some point, the gold miners are going to start dying a lot more frequently, and it's going to be hard to defend them. So miners are good, especially if you have good enough towers that you can defend them, and if you can defend the roaming enemies as well. We're going to get a lot of tactical amp. We have 16 already. That is actually really good to see. I'm really happy with all the potion rolls we've been getting so far, except for the legendary one. But yeah, it gets harder and harder to defend the miners because of every single day, the enemy layers will spawn stronger and stronger enemies that will just roam around the jungle They'll either mess you up when you're trying to do other camps, or they will start killing your miners if they cross paths. I could get a lot of Fate Amp here to lower the cooldown of Resurrection, but I don't think it's going to be that relevant. And I don't think the other stuff is relevant enough either. I think just getting the crit chance and then getting the potion cooldowns is better. You can see here is some of the roaming enemies. They're kind of nice for some free EXP when they're still this weak, but then later on they'll have stronger and stronger enemies. It's also one advantage to having the plant enemies is that they're much less likely to kill your miners with those lair spawns, because it'll just be that the plant will spawn somewhere random. Most of the time they're probably not even spawning in your miner's path. So if it's a Altar of Power or a Tactic Altar, I'm going to try and pick them up, even though the cost is so high. It's worth getting those stacked. And then I think there's some more weak camps up here I can take, but I do have to... I feel like I'm a little bit behind from not having that gold mine, because I would have this upgraded by now, and also have maybe 1 or 2 more tower upgrades. I think I'm going to upgrade the mage tower here, and the catapult here. Yeah, let's just go as safe as possible. This wave is really scary. And then, this gate is already dead, so this gate, thankfully it's not too low right now. I don't know what happened the last time I tried to run this. For some reason, things just did not work consistently, as I've seen them in other runs. When I hit this night wave... Oh, I need to grab the wisdom tree first. When I hit this night wave, this gate was almost dead, and I'm not sure what caused it. Am I bleeding? I think I was. Bleeding you have to really watch when you're fighting when you're fighting enemies with bleed. Not only is it really strong on yourself, it's really strong when the enemies use it too. I'm gonna get another upgrade here, just because I'm really, really worried about this wave. You'll see why in just a second. Actually, it might have already happened. I don't know if it happened yet. But anyways, this night is a blood moon. Blood moons scale the HP and damage of both the jungle waves as well as your own waves. So I'm gonna last stand here, and maybe as I get some more health back, I can try to tank a little bit of the wave, but it's really, really easy for me to die to this wave, so I think what I'm gonna do instead is just hide behind the wall and use Power Strike to get as much AoE damage as I can. We need to cut this wave down just as much as possible. Ooh, both of these are really nice. The run speed helps me dodge stuff and get around the map faster, but the EXP, even just 20%, really adds up towards hitting my level 9 power spike faster. But I think I'll go with the movement speed. Do I... No, I think we're okay with not getting any more tower levels. Especially if I can get my potion cooldowns back in time before the wave, or before the tower dies. I swear the first time I tested it, Vandius' guard was affecting towers, but then the next day when I tried it, it wasn't. And there was the 1.1 patch, which did update a few balance things. I don't know if they updated it and forgot to add that to the list, or if it's just something... I don't know how I would mess that up when I was testing it. I could also just be remembering wrong somehow. But anyways, his guard does not affect the gates, unfortunately. It was a little overpowered, but I think that's like, I think one of the best things Vandius has going for him in real high ages is the fact that he can protect the gates, but anyone can use Last Stand. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I feel like I'm really far behind in economy. I think I used more upgrades here than I did normally too. So that set me behind. And then I did buy the gold mine here, which spent some money. So I think what I'm going to do here, normally I would do more creep camps, but I think instead I'm going to go into the dungeon and farm a little bit more gold. If you guys want to try this build for yourself, I think I kind of mentioned it before, but I think in the lower ages, it'll work without too much specific stuff. But the high ages, you really gotta start playing around your map seed, either by re-rolling into the specific things you want, or adjusting your build around the map you have. I think I'm gonna... yeah, I should drop Last Stand here if I don't get stun locked out of it. Ooh, this is gonna be close. If I die here, it's not a big deal. I would be okay with dying here, but it looks like I'm gonna barely scrape through. That was a close one. I should have dropped Last Stand much sooner. Ooh, this will definitely help get me back in line with the missing money. We have a lot of money all of a sudden. We only got 150 from that chest, but we do have enough to upgrade this now. That maybe if I get 150, or if I get a little bit of gold somewhere, I can afford that. So I think if you have a map like mine, where you end up with a blood moon pretty early on, and you have a dungeon, I think going and doing a level or two in the dungeon is a good use of the rest of your night. This is 3 rage amp, but the crit and the rage amp is way better. And let me check something. I did buy the legendary plants. And I think I found one of the two. I can't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure I found one of the two. I wonder where the other one is. I don't think I want to spend too much more time over here, though. I'm just kind of waiting for it to turn daytime. I do not think I'm going to be able to clear a creature lair quite yet. And then I don't know if I'm going to upgrade the towers either. So now what I'm going to be looking for is green camps that only have a single enemy instead of 2, like this one here. Kind of sucks that the camps can spawn with 1 or 2 enemies, but then the reward is the same, aside from EXP, but the EXP doesn't really make that much of a difference. 5 tactical lamps, there we go. And then we need to pay attention to the resurrection cooldown here, again, too, and use it once it comes up. This does help. If we wanted to die additional times, you could use this to cheese it. I guess we'll just pick up this for the extra safety. And then I don't really like any of these options, so I'm going to save up 1200 again and re-roll them into something else. I think, let me check something too, actually, while we're here. So this is speed, invisibility, and rage. If I buy the +1 shop slots, it does not re-roll them, but I am really happy with the +9 tactical amp, so that was more than worth it. Ooh, it would have been really embarrassing if I got hit by that. I almost misclicked. With having this much speed, if I got hit by that, there would be a problem. Auto attack range, crit, or I could just take the double tactical amp. What are we at for this? 10 seconds. So we do still need quite a lot more potion cooldown reduction. I don't know if it's worth killing this guy, but it takes like 2 seconds. It's some EXP. And then this will be another camp we can take pretty easily. But I want to grab the EXP buff first. Come on. Sometimes it's weird about when you get in combat not wanting to auto-attack. I wonder if this might be a random spawn instead of being actually like from this camp. I don't know if I aggroed this camp at some point and it spawned an additional one, or if that's one of the random spawns. Because it is really finicky with the random spawns about not wanting to auto-attack sometimes, unless you directly click on them. Come on, dude. Stop moving around so much. Should take a little bit of damage here as well. It's gonna be time to revive again. I could take an additional death, too. As long as the death timer isn't on, you can take additional deaths. You just have to watch to make sure your towers are actually holding the lane enough. Cooldown reduction, a lot of arcane. We don't have anything for arcane, really. Yeah, we'll take the cooldown reduction then. That will help with a little bit casting more Life Bloom. So this camp, I don't think it's efficient for me to kill. It's just going to take too long. Oh, this camp also has 2 of them. So we can run down here, grab an upgrade from here. I don't think I should do any more dungeon levels, at least for now. I might recall just to save a little bit of time. I don't know how much of a time save this is, but I don't think I really need my recall for much else. As long as I'm paying enough attention to when night comes around, I shouldn't need it. Then we'll take a tactical, or not a tactical, rage amp from here. I can do this wave because it has only 1 enemy, but I do need to keep an eye on the day counter. So I'm gonna get taxed if I don't spend this money anyways. So I guess we'll use it on towers now. I would much rather... I don't know, maybe I should just save it up. It's just so... The night waves are so... They're like balanced on a knife's edge with this build. I don't have a whole lot of a good way to clear it on my own, so I'm really reliant on those towers. I should maybe even upgrade 1 or 2 of those, just to... The more damage that gets on the day waves, the better, because we don't want that, we don't want that second line of towers to be real low on HP by the time the night wave comes, obviously. I should, I need to pay more attention and actually use my potions. Yeah, I can just tank it out. If I did die, it would be fine. So I guess I'll save the death for the night wave, probably. Do I want the crit and the tactical, or do I want the attack speed? They're both good. I think we'll get this, just because it has more value on the crit. That'll also bump us up to 100% crit, in case... Ooh, legendary. Nice, I am more than happy with that. But yeah, the 100% crit is nice, in case I see a certain artifact that does AoE damage on crit. So let's check it where... Okay, good, this gate is going to be fully healed by the time the night wave gets here. I think we're off to a really good setup for this run. If we can hit level 9, especially, or get close to level 9 on this Night Wave, that will help out a lot. I think I'm gonna wait to use my potions this time, because this gate is just gonna die so fast. Ooh, gotta be very, very careful about that too. It's really easy to just kind of shut your brain off while you're hiding behind the gate, but you gotta pay attention to stuff like that. I will admit that I have went into shut brain off mode a few times. I've hopefully learned my lesson by now, though. We are really strong, though. I feel really good about clearing out these Night Waves. So something that I feel like for me personally is too much cheese, even for difficulty 20, is this martial balance here. It is extremely powerful. What you can do is you can either juggle the amplifiers to always be the same. If you're careful about it and conscious about it, it's not too difficult to do. But the thing that is even more broken about it is that if you just leave your amplifiers at 0, you will get the effect. So, what you can do is you can keep it at 0, get a couple levels, and then go clear out a bunch of jungle camps that you wouldn't be able to normally do. And then just not pick up their stat shards until you're ready. That has 2 enemies. What is this? Has 2 enemies too. I remember that. I think I might actually just steal EXP off these real quick. Infinite EXP glitch found? No. Getting these things to spawn things and slowly killing them is definitely not worth putting a lot of time into. And there's a much better way to get infinite EXP once you get to the Aphotic clans after you kill the mini-boss. To do that, you just go into one of the crystal tombs and don't pick up the... Well, you want to pick up the orbs. If you feel like you're strong enough, you want to pick up the orbs until you reach around 30 for health left. And then you'll notice that the waves start spawning much faster after that. If you feel strong enough for it, you just get it down to 30 or so, and then you start not picking any more up. If you're not as strong, you can farm them more slowly by just not picking any up at all. I don't think we're ready for this yet, but we can look for any more. There's actually another free shard here. And now that I'm at 1200, I want to pick up this. Oh, I maxed out a second... When did I max out the second gold mine? I don't remember doing that. I remember buying it, but I didn't remember maxing it out. Maybe when I was... I don't think I maxed it out when I first bought it. Maybe when I was looking at the kingdom menu at some point, I did it from muscle memory. Or maybe I said I did it consciously. I don't remember at this point in the run. There's a lot to remember during these runs, especially when doing commentary on top of them. So I might just do, like, weird things out of muscle memory or forget I've done certain things like that. Here, since we have to fight 2 at once, I'm gonna drop the damage reduction down from last stand, and yeah, I can actually just tank these easily, as long as the lifesteal's still going. The problem is, look how slow we go as soon as that runs out. Ooh, this is a perfect drop here, too. We just need a tiny bit more EXP, and then we're good to go. I don't know if I want to try fighting this without last stand, so... what I can do is just grab a wave here. I am missing... what is this, actually? Okay. I think I'll still see if I can take it for the HP. By the way, if you're ever going to reroll these altars, or just in general, when you're making selections, I think it's a good habit to get into pausing the game. You can still make the selections, or you can do as many rerolls here as you wanted, without having to have in-game time pass. I do that even like when I'm going to upgrade towers, or if I ever need to stop to think, you'll usually see me open up the map tab or pause it. Any little thing you can do to help yourself be more in-game time efficient is worth doing on high ages. I mean, it's a good habit to get into in general, but more so for the high ages specifically. 7% attack, or 7% lifesteal, 70% auto attack speed. These are such good rolls. And I don't remember if I mentioned it yet, but this is the whole reason why I like going potion builds personally over building up the Iron Mine for stat shards. Iron Mine is still really good, especially if you're looking for something more like range or flat HP that you can't get off of potions. But what I like about potions so much is that it feels a lot more consistent to me, because there's less options the potions can give you. I think this is probably easy enough. We can take it out. What I might honestly do is do a little bit of a limit testing here. Oh, he just bonked my miner. I'm gonna drag this over here, even. Oh, this guy's still a little bit lower tier. He's not... Is he? No, they're the same. I guess they just look different. These ones have hats on. And I swear they're bigger. But I might just be seeing things. I'm gonna drag everything together. I'm gonna put on Last Stand, I'm gonna put on my potions, and now I'm just going to pray. Yeah, we're really tanky at this point, as long as our lifesteal holds up. I'm still worried about taking on one of the blue rarity camps, but we're almost at the point of where we need to start trying. We also have our cooldown for potions unlocked now, so we are much stronger. I guess I'll go ahead and take this. I'm not going to be using the Altar of Powers that much for points, and this will maybe be able to trigger once or twice, depending on how the rest of the run goes. Alright, I think it's... Well, no, I need Last Stand up if I'm going to do one of these. Or do I? I feel like sometimes Last Stand almost baits me into feeling like I need to stay in the Last Stand area so it doesn't drop, when really it would be more efficient to just not take the hit in the first place. So I think what I'll do actually is I'm going to spend the rest of my energy there real quick, and then since my potions and my Last Stand are off cooldown, I need to wait a second to get my energy regen back up from being out of combat, and then let's see how this goes. So this attack right here will deal a lot of damage if I try to tank it, even if I stand in there with my guard and Last Stand up. This I will probably try to block. I also have the third ability right now. The third ability I didn't really know what to put in, and it doesn't really matter too much. It's just a little bit of extra damage every time it's off. And it does provide a little bit of crowd control for the waves. Here I want to keep Last Stand up if I can. Oh, that was really bad. It's fine. We can heal back up. I'm just gonna hope it works this time. I'm a dumb tank player. I don't like dodging things. Okay, so we have auto attack damage, a lot of rage amp. What's our rage chance? 16%? Yeah, well, I don't know. No, I'm gonna take the auto attack damage here. Because I need to actually be able to... I need to be able to get enemies low efficiently in the first place, before bleed is actually going to be as effective. And I think the boss fights are going to go on for so long that the lower chance on bleed shouldn't matter as much. It matters a lot on these other smaller camps that I want to be killing as fast as possible. Oh, it's nighttime as well, too. Need to hurry up and kill this. I think my potions will be back in time. This is Rage and Tactical. It's perfect. And then I need to grab... Actually, at this point I don't necessarily need to grab a Wisdom Tree, but I might as well. It's kind of weird in this game. I don't think you get any flat stats from leveling up. I haven't looked as hard at it, so maybe I missed it, but I don't think you get any flat stats for leveling. And then this is a little bit of a problem too. Let's see. Don't necessarily need these, so I could go ahead and grab one more level in these, and then... How many yellow altars? We've only hit 2 of them. One thing I could do is start stacking up knights to help tank, which I might do since I don't really have a whole lot of use for money anymore. The other thing I could do is get the Shardsmith and the Iron Mine, but that is so expensive. I need 800 for this, and then another one... Or not, no, I wouldn't need another 100 for one of the upgrades for it, but I would need 800 just to buy it, and then I would need to buy, like, I think 300 for the first rarity upgrade. And then the shards themselves are expensive, too. So I think we'll go for getting a little bit of a Knight Squad up next. I don't know if I can win within the next night, or if I need to scale a little bit more. I'm glad to see the night waves going down easily, though. This is probably the better yeah, this is barely any damage. This will help when I need to definitely take another intentional death as well. I could have been more efficient if I took it earlier. This has been off cooldown for a little while now. It's just a lot of things to manage in the run at once. I really don't want this gate to break. If this gate breaks, then I really need to sit here and babysit the lane, which I do not want to do at all. So let's grab the Knight Barracks, and then this. And then... What amp do we have down here? Blue? What do we have over here? That one's yellow. That one's red. So we can grab these two and then teleport back over this way and get the Knight's Order, I guess. I want to be picking up the yellow altars anyways. Let me grab this one first, and then I'll see if I can re-roll the other one into yellow. By the way, if you really want to go for Knights in high ages, or if your map just has the distortion on for costs, it will count even if you turn this into max HP. So that goes for the monks too, if you want to build those up with arcane altars. It's a really good way of building them up without having to worry too much about the cost of everything. Here, I do want the yellow amps though, so I'm going to lifesteal off of one of the camps over here, and then come back. What are our potion... Our potion cooldowns are still sitting at 30 seconds. I want to have those higher by the time I get to the boss. I don't know if I'll be clearing out the wildland camps or not. I'm not entirely sure if the time sink of doing them is worth it. Look how slow. It's so slow and painful when we don't have our potions up. This is okay. I honestly kinda really like this one. Even though it's only at 10% HP, but 10% of the boss's HP is still gonna be quite high. Even though at that point, once they start getting that low, the bleed is going to start hitting hard enough to where it probably doesn't matter. There we go. I was like, why isn't it teleporting me? But I needed to unpause the game. Oh, and then I forgot to unpause there too. I don't actually know exactly what upgrading them into Crusaders will do, but we'll do it. And then we'll go here and grab them the mounts too. I guess we should also then pick up the thunder damage for them. The mounts make it where they will charge into the middle of the wave and do a bunch of AoE damage, which is good if you have them tanky enough. I did not think that camp was gonna do that much damage to me. We won't really have Fate Armor. We actually do a little bit of invisibility here. That synergizes well. And then if I had a little bit more money, oh well. We can maybe get the money before, or just see what happens in the next day. Did I really miss a chest here this whole time? I mean, I guess it works out right now. Yeah, I will take the extra regen. I wish it was easier to guarantee artifacts, because there's some really fun artifacts, like this one that gives more regen while invisible. Oh wait, I can die here, it's okay. Ideally, I don't want to die while my potions are active, but if I do, I do. But yeah, I wish it was easier to guarantee stuff like getting regen from artifacts, and like there's one that's a flat regen scaling off of Fate Amplifier that would be so good for Vandius to have as a tank. And then there's like the one where you get regen and invisibility. It'd be really cool to be able to specifically build around. These are all not good options. I don't have any rerolls either. If I can get 2 levels, I don't know if I actually will, but if I do, that's a lot of rage amp. And then I guess we can grab this. I think the issue with that one is it doesn't restore gates that are already broken. It only restores ones that are still active. I wish it would just, like, restore broken gates. That would be so useful. Then, we're looking good right now. We have an entire day to still do whatever. Do I think that I can do a lair boss? So hesitant to do it, but I want to try. I don't have anything I can lifesteal off of. This is the annoying thing about these. Like, at this point, 5 amps is really important. Which is a good case for running... the... running the green potion that just gives flat healing. Oh, I need to make sure I actually heal off the wave, like I came here to do. The problem is, if I run green potion, then I just have no attack speed. Other characters can probably get away with it if they have, or like a similar build to this. I think this build will work on pretty much anyone. If you're the ranged character, you obviously don't need Last Stand either. Okay, let's get to the creature lair. See how this goes. This boss has a really nasty attack, too. I'm gonna wait for that to come out. These barrels hit so fucking hard. I don't know what that dude puts in his barrels, but they do so much damage. I have been one-shot by them when playing as the archer. Should drop my guard, actually. Unless I, like, right here. See, that still hits 1,000 damage, even with Last Stand and guard up at the same time. I think we'll kill him pretty quickly. He's got bleed, and then... See, he's already taken 700 damage per tick of bleed. How much for my crits are doing 300 without potions, and my attack speed is so slow. How much are my crits doing? They're doing 570. We probably do actually just out DPS the bleed. This will give us a more invisibility for some in-combat region. Wow, speed and 5 rage amps. I don't think we need rage amps, though. 20% is enough. I would much rather have the auto attack speed and the tactical amps. So now that pretty much ate up the rest of the day, unfortunately. I think I won't do this lair boss because it splits into smaller things and takes up a lot of extra time to clear. I think after we hold this Night Wave, we should go for the win. Oh no. If this dies, this is bad. Hopefully I can save it in time. If I save this... Oh... Ooh... Let's see how this wave goes, then. I think I might be strong enough myself that I can cut off enough of the wave early enough and safe enough.
The night is here. The hordes of the Unraveler are attacking.
How much damage is that doing? 300? That is not very good. How do we only have, How do I only have 10 blue amps? Have I really not paid that much? We're getting a blizzard during this. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. Actually, yeah, I can out-heal the blizzard. It's gonna make it harder to kite them, but... Ooh, this is perfect, by the way. Auto-attack speed during the day. But yeah, how do I only have 10 blue amps? I don't... I feel like I should have died more than twice by now. I know I've given up some blue amps from altars, but I didn't think I'd given up that many. Ooh, we're getting really close to the point, too, of where our potions are on 100% uptime. We just have a couple seconds of downtime now. I don't know where we can get more yellow amps from, though. It's just gonna kind of be luck on whether the altars of power roll into them, or if I can get rolled into them for cheap enough. It'd be perfect if I could have 100% uptime for potions on the boss fights. And I think we've definitely cut enough of the wave. I wish there was a way to see... You can check, like, how many are in the total wave, but I wish there was some kind of indicator for the current amount of enemies left, so you could tell better. Maybe, like, an extra bar just comes up above this, or I mean below this, when the Night Wave is here. Oh, they're really shredding the gate. Oh, this sucks. Please don't kill the gate, please don't kill the gate. They killed it. I guess we'll take this in case we can pick up a couple plants in the Aphada clans that will be pretty high tier. That'll help find them, at least. so now this position kind of sucks. I should have maybe let my... Where are my knights? Maybe they... Oh, I think the knights didn't have a chance to spawn in, because the people were always behind the gate there. But anyways, we'll get thunder damage for them, make them do some percent health damage, and then... How many soldiers do we even produce? We only produce 5, so I can't trigger this. I guess I'll get this. And then... What can we do? We have 2 more altars of power. I think one of them is yellow and that I haven't picked up yet. This gate is back, so that's fine for now. This gate's on 20 seconds. So I think, yeah, we still have 4-second downtime on potions, but that's not long. We can also take another death intentionally somewhere here. I'll try to probably... Oh, it's gonna de-aggro to my invisibility. What are you doing? I want to ideally die when this gets low and has bleed on it, and let the bleed kill it while I'm reviving, to just not waste any time at all. This thing's aggro range is annoying, especially when you're going invisible and losing aggro like this. Maybe I just need to try and fight it up here more, but I think this blocks you, so you can't, actually. And then let's see. Ooh, that might help bring our potions to 100% uptime. If I even want to bother putting Last Stand down here, I guess I can. Yeah, our DPS is looking good. A lot better than I expected it to be. I've not actually finished a run on this build yet. I've tried a couple times on and off recording, but, oh, she died to bleed. Just, there were little things that went wrong at certain points in the build, and there were a lot of just very minor adjustments. Like, I was trying to run this build without bleed at first, and it could work, but it just end up being so slow for killing bosses. Why is our fate amp seems really low, too? I know I spent some of them for HP. Have I really just not been dying efficiently this run? Which, if I haven't been, I'm more than okay with, because it shows that you don't need to abuse the amplifiers for dying too heavily. If you just get a couple of them early on to help scale your run, it's more than enough. Now we just have a long and painful slow boss fight. I think I can even tank the boss with or without guard. But one problem that the game has right now is that the boss patterns don't change at all, or anything. Like, I think they said they might be looking at trying to update their attack speed, so they'll attack more often, at least, if they can't have enough development time and resources to make actual new things. Did he just... Oh, he just fully healed. Why is he... Wait, what? Did he fully heal and then... Why did he lose so much HP there all of a sudden? Was Bleed maybe snapshot onto... No, it shouldn't snapshot. Bleed updates in real time. I don't know what I'm thinking there. I don't know what happened there. I swear I saw him get more HP and then drop down a whole bunch all of a sudden. But anyways, I am just going to yellow it. I am 90% confident that I can kill him before the Nightwave ends the game. And it'll make things a little bit more exciting for the video. He should be dead now. He's this slow. He's taking 10,000 DPS from Bleed. Hell yeah. First win for me of age 20 with Vandius. I think he's a really rough solo hero overall. Anything that I did here, you could probably do with another hero better. The only one small advantage I had was the extra 40% damage reduction on guard, which did save my life a couple times, but like, if you had this build with Pharaon, for example, you would have a whole bunch of extra attack speed just to proc your lifesteal and do more damage. But anyways, this video has gone on more than long enough, so I don't need to add more time to the end. Thank you guys for watching if you stuck through for the whole thing, and if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll try to answer them in the comments if I know, and I will see you in the next one.